Greetings, hi. It's your local fairy in your local supermarket, and it is another fine day where I'm going to come tell you about a pressing issue about the game Genshin Impact. Yeah, I know. Calm down. It's fine. I understand that you love when I approach you in this random aisle every day when you're just trying to get some eggs, but that's fine. Today's pressing issue is the forced meta. That's right. We are going into a forced meta. It used to be, we used to do what we want. Did you want to build a healer? Did you want to go shields? Whichever path you chose, you could do it. It didn't matter. If you wanted to use your iframes and dodge abilities and heal up whenever you did get hit, fine. If you wanted to ignore mechanics and use a shield, fine. There were certain things in the world already, like cold damage or electro damage, not the elemental from monsters, but the atmosphere damage that would already go through shields, so you had to prep for that. But usually you could prep for it with the amazing Z button. Now, as you've noticed, there are new mechanics that have already been introduced and going to be introduced that are forcing us to participate in a meta that we may not want to participate in. One of the best things about Genshin Impact was you could build any way you wanted and do it fine. But there are certain mechanics now being added that limit you from doing that. So people that didn't have a healer being built because they didn't need one or they didn't want one, they didn't find them interesting to play, they are now being forced to build them. What mechanics you're asking? That's exactly what I'm going to tell you right now. Don't you worry. The corrosion mechanic and the new introduced dog mechanic coming in the patch sometime soon. Uh, Obviously, the dog mechanic I'm getting from leaks. I'm not going to cite where I got it, but since I'm not officially in the game, I have to state that I got it from leaks. So take it with a grain of salt. It could be false. It could be true. We don't really know until it comes in today or tomorrow or sometime soon. I don't know. Now, the corrosion mechanic. Currently only in Spiral Abyss, but there's nothing stopping them from introducing it into the game. Nothing. Now, what's the corrosion mechanic? For any of you unfamiliar, on Floor 11 of the Spiral Abyss, there is a new mechanic called corrosion. When you kill a monster, your entire party is affected with a dot. That dot does an extreme amount of damage. When you only have one stack, it doesn't do much. But when you, it's, first off, it stacks. Already bad news right there. And so the faster you kill mobs, the more, if you kill them fast, they'll start to stack up and do an insane amount of damage. Sometimes, if you get it max stack, it can actually out damage a lot of heals. Now, why is this a problem? Well, now you're forced to bring in a healer into floor 11, which was typically not needed in before. And also, this is a side story, or side rant, really. It also causes you to slow down your combat. If, let's say, you wanted to do it without a healer, it would theoretically be possible if you slowed down how fast you killed the mobs. However, that's still not good because it's a timed event and you've got to kill it very fast because you have two sections of the same chamber, and you have to, if you want 3 stars, you have to beat in a certain amount of time. So the best way to do it is a healer, which means we're being forced to get a healer. Now, it's very suspicious that they introduced this mechanic like a week before a 5-star healer came out that, in my opinion, is a bad character. It's my opinion. But I also hate healers. So that's where all this ranting is coming from. I hate healers. I like playing. I'm okay with dodging. I have a shield. I have Zhongli. If not Zhongli, there are other shield characters like Diona that provide a wonderful shield where you don't take damage. And when you do take damage, I once again have this lovely Z button. But because of this corrosion, I actually had to go out of my way to build a character. Now, if this was a one-off story where it would be hard to be without a healer, I could probably do it without a healer, that's fine. But this is repeatable content, and building a character is not cheap. It is very expensive to build a character, especially for Spiral Abyss levels, because you don't want your character level 70 or level 80. Maybe level 80 is fine. But level 90 is the preferable one. Now, if it stays in Spiral Abyss, I could look over it. I could dismiss this rant as whatever. Now the problem is, they're going to introduce corrosion somewhere in the world. Whether it be a mob, whether it be a status effect, somewhere in the world they're going to introduce this. They are not just going to have this limiting mechanic in Spiral Abyss. Mihoyo is not going to do that. It's just in their nature to introduce this mechanic. All right, I need to interrupt real quickly. Well, looking up pictures and references to put in the video for little clip art like I've done in the past, I found out that the dogs that I'm going to be mentioning right now, specifically for the corrosion, uh, they actually apply the corrosion with their stuff. So it's already being introduced. This source is from the Genshin Impact wiki itself, so I guess it's kind of a leak, but not really because it's from the wiki. Anybody could look this up in a non-leak place. But they're going to apply the corrosion. That's all. Back to the video. Now going off of this mechanic into something that's actually in the overworld that's going to be forcing a healer, the new dogs. Now, it's not fully forcing a healer because you do have food. In the overworld, you can use food. However, these new dogs, you know for sure, are going to appear in the Spiral Abyss later. Probably in the Spiral Abyss Floor 11, where their corrosion effect is. So it's going to be double bad. What does this dog do? Allegedly, this dog does true damage. What's true damage? True damage does damage to you no matter what. No matter if you have a shield, no matter if you have a health bubble, if health bubbles even existed in the game. It would go through that, it would go through shield, it would go straight into your HP, making shields obsolete. And you know for a fact they're going to spam this monster everywhere because they did that with the samurai people, the really strong ones that can regenerate their HP if you don't kill them fast enough. Yeah, those guys, they spam those everywhere. You know they're going to spam these dogs everywhere, especially in the new event. Now, why is true damage bad? It makes certain characters pointless. It makes them let's remove Zhongli's shield for a second. All right, Zhongli's shield is the most broken shield in the game, hands down, and it's a shield. Shields are extremely great right now. I love playing Zhongli besides the shield. He's a fun character to use. He has a great auto attack. His ultimate's nice and cool. It makes me feel cool to use, which is amazing. Now the problem is they're making him useless. With this new mechanic, if they put you against 10 of these dogs, Zhongli is honestly useless. Now you could use him not carrying him with the shield because he's an HP tank, he does lots of damage. Sure, you could use him. But if they're dealing true damage, why instead of using him, you use a healer? Because you don't need a shield because they go through shields. So it removes him, bring a healer. And this brings back to the forced mechanic. They are forcing us into this mechanic of having a healer. It used to be you could go one path or the other. Either way, it didn't matter because as long as you were having fun, that's the only thing that mattered. And we are on a very slippery slope to being forced into a certain playstyle, like every other game. Every other game, you were forced into a playstyle. Mostly, there was no meta in Genshin. In other MMOs, there was always a meta, like you go this for optimal performance. In Genshin, there wasn't really that. There were best in slot characters, sure, but there weren't really a meta because you could still do all the content with any of the characters. I've seen people do it with all 4 stars. I've seen people complete it with Amber, and Amber's useless. But on the path we're going right now is a very slippery slope to force a meta where you have to bring a healer. And I don't like that. I'd much rather have my current team or a team close to it, because I like experimenting with new characters. But I don't want to be forced to have a healer on my team. I don't. I enjoy not having a healer, especially when I don't need one because I gotta press Z to heal whenever I do actually get hit through my shield. But soon, with this corrosion mechanic, with these dogs, and you know they're going to introduce more mechanics later, there are it's a very slippery slope to being forced into a healer meta, which is what I think the game is heading towards right now, and I'm not okay with it. I've already got healers built up as a precaution to this because I needed them for floor 11, but there are some people that can't build a character to level 90 in a day or two like I did. They take months to build it because the resin system is so limiting. So if we continue on this path, we're forcing a healer into our team. It's forcing us to play characters we may not enjoy playing because we need to survive, because they're dealing damage to our HP that we can't block. We can't iframe. And it's making the game not fun. Now, I would like to say that the game isn't boring. There's still plenty to do in the game. It's still fun. And there are plenty of other factors that are making this game unfun, like the response to the anniversary outcry, the anniversary event in general, the stalling for main content by continuously doing half-baked events. There are plenty of other things that are pushing this game to be unfun, but this is a very slippery slope when it comes to the game, because they're forcing something onto us rather than letting us play the game how we want to, which is how we have been doing. They don't like that. That's the problem here. That's my little rant. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me your opinion. Do you agree with this? Do you not agree? I would love to have a discussion about this instead of just my own point of view or my chat's point of view. I would love someone else's point of view. Do you think that do you think they're not heading towards this meta? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think it's okay to go into a healer only meta? What is your opinion? I would love to hear it. Until next time, ciao.